it for bad genes or DNA? Ask your conscience the why and how. Do it then, do it when, but do it now. What's up, sweet cakes? Who's here anyway? The girls are easy. What you gonna do, little buckaroo? Yeah, you gotta do. Happy fool is asking mom. No, we all can be super fly. GQ, PhD, FBI. You can pretend and you can try. Move ahead, lay down dead, or slip on by. When the truth seems so far away, Buddha loves you and Jesus saves. You need answers for your dismay. Ask yourself, ask your mom, ask DNA. What's up, sweet cakes? Whose heads anyway?
What's up, Matt? I heard you trying to speak there. Is on Spaces. We got you. Okay.
Yes, no, good, good.
Oh.
I mean, I had Insta-muting. I call it Insta-muting. It's where you press the I want to speak button and it's like, yes, but no, fuck you. Yes, but no, fuck you. And it just comes back. And it's like, the safety on the seatbelt when that fires and you're kind of like stuck and you're like, ah, shit, that thing. And you're trying to relax and you're like, no, I need to. And then it's just like stuck again. Ah, man. One of those days, mate. One of those days. So what have we got on today? We have got another episode of No Cap Gaming, episode 15. Are Web3 games finally not trash? I'm not going to preempt this one. I'm not. I promise I'll let other people speak. I promise I'm going to let other people have fucking opinions before I tell everyone exactly what I think of Web3 games and exactly what's going to happen in the future. No, but it's all good. It's all good. We got some lovely people up in the space. I see Soulbound requesting. I am adding you, Soulbound. We have Mr. Console. How you doing? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right, man.
Good.
I'm always excited to hear your voice, my good
Oh,
friend.
thanks, man. Thanks. I always like chatting to you. You're always chill, smooth, calm.
And the beauty about you,
So many flowers, man.
No, we got interrupted by Paul unmuting and echoing all out while we were
sorry.
each other.
Yeah. I'm just tuning in to say for the stream side of it, all my Chrome profiles have shut down again, so I'm going to have to jump back in there a second. So, but I'm here, still in the space.
And we still love you, and that is true. Flowers to everyone. Flowers to everyone. Shaolin, how are you doing? I heard you had some missions to do later.
Oh yeah, well, parenting, right? It gets in the way of these great conversations, but nonetheless, we're here. I'm this. I think my first time like co-host space, so I'm kind of a little giddy because a little pressure. But at the end of the day, we do what we do. But I love the topic because it'll be interesting to see how you break this down, Matt. But I'm actually pretty positive because I will rather stress the positive, what's going on in space, than shit on it completely. Constructive criticism is everything, but nonetheless, we have a stacked panel. Looking forward to it and glad to be here.
All good. I am always like to let the subject up for air before slapping them down again and strangling them because, it's more fun when they struggle. Um, just like when flat earthers try and, you know, justify their bizarre existence. Ligrim, Ligrim, ghostly inside we have.
Well, that's my
Is that
alt, man.
your new? Is that your? It's not your alt, man. That's you now.
No, no,
That's
no, no.
no,
It's
no.
it's called Little Grim for a reason.
Little Grim.
It's not
Oh, I
trying to
didn't know.
replace me. It's just hanging
Oh,
in
Little
there.
Grim.
It's trying to be like that flag that's like I have not given up.
I mean, it's more like your rapper name now, Lil Grim. I think
Yeah.
that's where we should go on that one. But
Mixtape
yeah,
coming soon.
yo, how's it going, Soban?
Doing great, guys. And I was just gonna say, mixtape coming soon from Little Grim.
Yeah.
Hey,
New
hey,
album.
hey, no baby oil, no Diddy, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Lil Grim. I think Lil Grim's a great rapper name. I'm surprised we don't have any Lil Grim rappers around as it goes. As it goes. How you doing, Marcello?
Yes, sir. Doing well. Happy to be here, guys. I think this is a good topic. Quick take. I do think games are a bit less trash than they used to be. So very excited about that, and excited for more or less trash games to emerge from the woodwork. But yeah, that's what I think.
I swore for a second you were going to say dumpster fire. I swore, like I thought I could almost like some more games to emerge from that, and I was like, "Is he going to say dumpster fire?" Because he's been saying about trash games. I was like, he's thinking it. He's definitely thinking it. But no, it's interesting, right? We have now been doing this. Some would say for far too long. Certainly, some would say for far too much money. We've been pouring, I think it's like 20 billion of investment into Web3 game projects. Many of them which that they don't come to pass. But I'd also like to say this also happens in Web 2. I mean, I've just known that let's say King Candy Crush guys doing a round of redundancies that recently impacted some friends of mine, a really fantastic Viking game themed studio up in Sweden, near base where I am, called Cult of the North, run by some pretty good experts. That took money off A16Z, by the way, 10 million in funding. Also shut down for their completely sort of AAA Web 2 side of things. It is tough out there to make games, and it is even tougher when you set the difficulty to maximum and you set your players to vicious. And then you play an impossible mode where you're like, we're going to do everything, but in public, and we're going to pay you while we do it. Um, that is the time that you sell your Balenciaga kicks. You put your Passig up on I don't know why you sell it on. You probably wouldn't put it on End or Goated, but that is the time you sell your shit. You get your ass booked on a plane to Singapore Token 2049, party, spend everyone's money, and then cry about it later in Discord. Probably the first time you've been there in about 18 months. So, what do we got on the menu? Anyone know any good games? Anyone looking for any good games? I
Well,
had.
to tease you on the fact that I am on the fence on this idea, I put something
Mhm.
that is completely non-Web3 on screen. I put the
I
games that
like
is
that.
most hype right now on Steam, and has got the most players. It's not the most positive game, but it's definitely got one of the most players, aside from obviously the giants like CS2, Dota, and whatnot. But
It's looking cool.
well, you know what it is, right?
Hmm.
I think it's what do people want? They want an opportunity to play together. They want the grind
Hmm.
that they can enjoy for a while,
Yeah.
and a game that lasts longer than 5 minutes. And I don't know right now. I don't see any Web3 game that gives me that sort of vibe that could last longer than 5 minutes. I mean, we see Cambria after people have
Hmm.
grinded and they got the airdrop, and
Yeah.
what's next? Like season 2, season 3, season 4?
Bro, I really liked Cambria, but man, 2 weeks is so short for a fucking campaign. I'm like, yo, why can't they just keep
Yeah.
this running like a regular game? But I get it. But man, I'm
It's
like,
because you'd all get bored if they kept it running like a regular game. That's the issue. Because
yeah,
the content, the rest of it, if you're going to incentivize something and you're going to put money in front of it, you don't want this getting people bored. You don't want people to get rid of get all sad and played out. I still don't understand why when I turn off my camera I get bored. Why am I bored? Hello,
Yes,
Paul.
because
Yeah, it's
he's
good.
probably used the manager account for the stream, and he
Hello.
put his picture there.
I know it's
Am I?
amazing.
No, I shouldn't be that. I don't know.
Hello.
Though
Well, it is.
It's at top of the islands, yeah.
you look infinitely better anyway.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. I mean, the thing is, right? Like, when it comes to games and when it comes to like AAA, and it is really hard to do. But we've been doing these kind of games with this level of graphics. I mean, just look at that fire. Look how PS2 that is. Well, it's more like PS3. Actually, I give it PS4, but not PS5. This game, you could happily do this on PS3. You would better on PS4. Look, a dude in a thing with a crow. I mean, oh, it's not a crow. It's a bat. Jesus. Oh well. Anyway, what am I saying, man?
People are awfully fond. Why is gaming so fond of dudes in masks and mysterious hoods?
Because it's made by the same 7-year-old boy who was running around with a towel on his head, pretending to be Vader, holding another towel for his sister's socks or something. I just fail and just put my
And
socks
going,
down. Yeah, no, exactly.
I am your father.
I'll have to chip in though. To be fair, like they're in the desert, and so it does make more sense when you have to deal with sandstorms. But that's just unrelated.
Yeah, I mean,
Sandworm?
but he looks really toasty in that. Black, wearing that jet black outfit, that skin tight jet black, non flowing outfit. He looks a little bit toasty. And the other guy looks like he's sort of modeling for one of those things that, the sort of ladies that watch Love Island would like the guys to be wearing, but the guy would never buy himself. And the guy only wears it like one time on holiday when he is 100% sure that none of his male friends can actually see him, that he will wear that armless cloth thing that all these ladies seem to want to buy them.
Yeah, Rich Web3 is asking, is this a Web3 game or PS? It's actually a Web2 game
It
as it
is.
stands. It's us trying to poke a little bit at the Web3 ecosystem and say, like, why don't you make a game like this?
I mean, because look, they fucking finished it. That's the big difference. I mean, we have tried to make games like this. We've just never finished them. I mean, like the graphical fidelity is not too dissimilar from games that we've seen around. But at least this game actually continues, and people can play it. And it loads, and it does other things like doesn't accidentally drain you, doesn't give all of its players money away to randoms, doesn't make a bridge that no one knows what the fuck that is, just so that you can turn one coin into another coin with the same name on another network, which makes no fucking sense to anyone with a brain. This guy's just happy picking his flowers in his little wife suit, running around.
Bridging is the new crafting mechanism, man. So
Oh
it
my
is.
God! I swear
That's
to
what it
God,
is. Yeah.
if I have another bridging project gets a bajillion invested into it, that at some point, it's too much, man. I'm bridge. I don't give a shit about bridging. Bridge my. I also noticed that people have been watching too much TikTok and they're now censoring literally every word that's even slightly annoying. Like it's like calling someone stupid, but actually like putting a star on the eye. I'm like, this is why you're not allowed to play Minecraft. You can only watch Minecraft. Um, they shouldn't be
Remember
allowed to
when
play anymore.
Minecraft used to have, Web3 integration, and now it's like, no, not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's because everyone who put Web3 integration into Minecraft was like, guys, just so that I can buy. Just so I can buy another patty for my other arm. What I want to do is copy this game, rip it off, call it my own game, and then put Web3 on it. And that's the retarded state that we've been in, probably because they wouldn't know how to make an actual game. But yes, we have some breaking news of good games happening. Eve, that's been genuinely designed by actual people who've designed economies and games before.
I actually wanted to ask you guys about it. I'm happy you brought it up.
It's looking good. I want people to talk about it. Tell me about Eve. What's your opinions on Eve? I'm going to get more. I'm gonna get more
I
juice.
haven't played it, but from what I had a really good conversation with a Web2 guy yesterday who's kind of like dabbling with Web3. But yeah, overall, it
Dabbling with
seems like
Web3, that makes it sound like you're just taking him round the back of a shady place, and you're like, "Hey, man,
Hey, come
do
here, come
you
here.
want a
I go.
bridge? You want to do your first bridge?"
You
yeah.
open the jacket and you see like tokens. Like want to buy some
Like
tokens?
Bitcoin pendants.
Which
It's
drugs
got
you
like
want
ledger
today?
wallets.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Yes,
got
exactly.
actual
yes.
coins, bitcoins, and you sell
Yeah, brilliant.
the chocolate one.
The physical, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I fucking love that shit.
But
Matt,
yeah,
are you just extra
I think
spicy today, by the
overall,
way? Oh, go
I
ahead.
think. Oh no, go
I'm
ahead.
full of spice, man. It's just happened, man. It's one of those days. It is definitely one of those days.
But yeah, has anybody here played the game? Like, I don't know. From afar, it looks pretty dope. I don't know. I haven't tried it
It
myself,
is.
so I can't speak on it.
I mean, the thing is, right? The thing is that I would say about Eve, and this has been true since the beginning of Eve, for the last 20,000 years that it's been running. In fact, Iceland has probably grown by about 80 meters since Eve started running. It's been going that long. And Iceland is, as you know, at the center of a plate boundary that's actually ripping apart. And one day Iceland will be a huge continent, maybe the size of North America, um, but, but way
I
more
actually
inbred.
thought that Eve was struggling a bit.
It is because the problem with Eve, and has been since the beginning of time, or at least the beginning of Iceland, is that it is more fun to read about than it is to play. And this is like when you read about Eve and you're like, these guys with these fantastic, amazing, like huge ships that cost $5,000. And then when you look at playing the game and you have to sort of you have to train for a human 3 years or something before you can actually fly one. And then you can't fly properly, or at least you couldn't in the versions back when I played it. You could basically orbit each other and you watch a math simulation play out as to whether you're going to win or not. It's it's a Skinner box. That's the issue with Eve, right? And this is why Web3 people absolutely love this. And this is why it could probably work, because the gameplay is not that difficult. What is interesting about it is the politics, the economy, and the skullduggery, which means that it is the perfect setting for crypto. And I think if any game is going to succeed, and if the only game that would ever succeed with crypto in it would be one game, it would be Eve, because they're letting them generate their own tokens for their own guilds, their own like little like space areas. They're probably going to have their own coin market caps and stuff for this. Like the social engineering in some of these things that people literally would befriend someone for years, like the kind of like go to your wedding kind of friend level, and one day just completely betray you and take all your shit and ravage your base. This is perfect for what we do. This is like, you cannot get better than that shit.
Just another day in the trenches, right?
Another day in the trenches. And another semi-uninspired ornithopter design from the people who watched June
They
far
had
too
to
many
try
times.
something, to be honest. And to be fair, it's based on a different universe than actual movies and books because the
Mm-hmm.
Fremen are not present in this one.
Mm-hmm.
There was never Paul Atreides and everything like in the movies. So it's like if it never existed. So it's a nice concept. What I wanted to say though is like, would you think MMO survival would work
Mm-hmm.
on Web3? And before we go to Chewy, because I know he's got his hands raised, would love to take
Yo,
a swing.
Chewy.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, sorry, I don't have very long because I'm actually cooking dinner at this time. And,
Always a pleasure
What you
hearing
cooking?
your voice, my friend.
What you cooking, Chewy? What you cooking?
I have just found some pork just to make a pork stir fry. So just making a nice pork stir fry for the family. But yeah, I heard you guys talking about Eve Frontier. Am I the only person here that's actually tried the game? I'm actually surprised.
Well, I have been in like 18 hours of meetings in the last 20
Of
hours.
course. No, I understand. No, I did. Yeah, I'm definitely not in 18 hours of conversation at the moment, but I did give it a go as well. So I started playing Eve Online when the first year it came out, and probably for 2 years, I think I played it. So very, very long time ago. And I think you kind of captured a lot of actually what it was about as well. I mean, we had alliances with Bob, Band of Brothers and stuff. And like I was there for the first two wars. TeamSpeak was what people used for voice chat, and it was brutal, absolutely brutal. And if you want a taste of it as well, just Google TeamSpeak EVE Online, and you'll get a flavor of the kind of conversations that went down as well. And when you look back, like, it's funny, but I'll tell you, when you're in it at the time, it was highly stressful, highly, sort of like the seriousness people took some of this stuff was absolutely shocking.
It's like combining a Magic the Gathering nerd with a COD lobby. It's just horrible.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, eFrontier, I mean, so I've literally just built a couple of things, and I've just gone sort of backwards and forwards, to sort of like do some mining, go back to crafting, realize I don't have enough resource, and then go back to mining again and stuff like that. So I haven't really
so that's basically a future version of real life, because that's kind of what I do. I realize I run out of resources, I do some more mining, I come back to my house, I use the resources.
EVE Online kind of EVE Online sort of captured just sort of like this grind mentality in such a great way, to be honest. And I think that's what initially captivated a lot of us. A lot of us that are true sort of like MMO players, we actually enjoy the pain of the grind. It was funny because I was listening to Gamified last night, and all of them were saying, "Oh my God, I can't be bothered to craft. I hate crafting. I hate doing, mining. Oh Jesus, blah, blah." But the thing is, I mean, there's a lot of gamers that actually. This is why I keep saying to people as well, like gaming. People say, "Oh, make a game that's fun." Now, I mean, that I don't feel that's true.
Right? It's got to be. Is it? I mean, fun for who? Because like I was also listening to Gamified off and on yesterday, and it was like one of the interesting things is some people hate crafting. Those people probably play pickleball, drink White Claw, and they do climbing as a hobby. They're the kind of people who hate crafting. They like hanging out with people, having social lives. Whereas me, I like to intricately plan all of the shit I'm going to do and then not do it, and instead just grind mining somewhere incredibly remote that I found that's probably very inefficient. But it just feels good to be in some sort of secret hidden base out in the middle of nowhere, with no one actually there as an enemy. But it's all good. Like, everyone has a different player types, right?
No, and absolutely, and I don't think there's any problem with that as well. I mean, there was quite a few people last night as well saying that they really couldn't play Marvel Rivals because they found it too stressful. And I get that. I understand that. But some of us actually drive on the adrenaline and the anxiety from it as well. So, I really enjoy.
I want a slow-paced game that induces anxiety. That would be a really good one. A nice slow calming game that induces anxiety, please.
I remember setting up a server for my community at the time, Life is Feudal. And that is an incredible game. And it's anything but fun. I mean, you would agree, right? It's anything but fun. I mean, you're literally... you if you don't make enough food for winter, you all die, and you all have to start over.
When they went MMO, to be honest.
Yeah, I felt they kind of ruined it as well. So
it's still like Kingdom 2 Crowns, in that you used to, when they first started that game, winter happened, and then that was it. The game was kind of over, and you had to beat there was no ending to the game. It was just, you played through an entire season farming, getting coins. The only thing you can do is basically pick up money and spend that money to buy troops. And it's every night the greed attack you and they get stronger and stronger and you level up and fight them. And in the final game that's now, that you can actually defeat them, move on to different islands, do all of that kind of stuff. But it is that kind of like soul crushing thing when you see that little pixel art trees turn like autumny and there's mist. And it's good. I love the games that do have that kind of panic, like, the night is
Yeah,
falling and you've got to
yeah,
get
yeah.
inside because the things that come out of night are
Things
just
that, yeah,
fucking
it's like
terrible, man.
the forest as well. Like when you're starting out in the forest, I mean, I remember one of the guys one of the groups were having a lot of issues because they simply just didn't have anyone to manage them and stuff. And they literally, turned up at our doorstep, literally, in the game. And they went, guys, we just can't we just can't start, because every night we're just absolutely obliterated. And, it's like,
Oh, bless
it's
them.
just not happening for us and stuff. And so we basically let them set up a base near us. And then we started putting walls to encapsulate both camps, and then we had people on watch and stuff, and it was just funny because again, I go back to this thing about games being fun and stuff. They, like I said, they're not necessarily having to be fun. It's just that they've got to be entertaining, and I think that's what we get. That's what kind of like drives some gamers is just the entertainment value you get from it, and the hardship and the challenge and stuff.
Exactly. It's like
Stuff.
gaming's almost a religious experience, like the better religions, the stickier religions have stronger rules. Like if you've got a religion that's kind of like, oh, just do what you like. Like your religion's going to die. If you have a religion that's like, yeah, every third Thursday you have to punch yourself in the face like really hard, then that religion's going to go for it. Like give up some shit, like be strict about some stuff, and then you get this reward later down the line. Gaming can be seen as a religious experience. I mean, just look at the way that they sell all of the games. Look at the way that RPGs always constantly have this kind of religious imagery and the grinding and the sort of playing as a good character. Like many of them, they even have like, karma systems and things like that. I see a stray True in the house. Did he leave? There he is,
I
True.
see him. I see him.
Yeah, he's here.
Come on. Are you roaming the forests of Finland? Are you in the woods? Are you listening to dark metal?
Yes, I am in the woods. I'm not listening to dark metal right now. I'm listening to some Swedish dudes talk about gaming. So
I'll have you know I'm Irish. That's all good.
no way. No. This is unacceptable. How can you live in Sweden and be Irish? Impossible.
And it's funny, I'll tell you this, and I moved to Sweden for work, not a woman. And that makes me probably one of only 3 English people who've ever done that. And because everyone else I met went to marry a Swedish girl, and then they found that they were illiterate, a lot tubbier than the rest of the local population, and also uglier. And then they invariably get dumped. And we call them love refugees. There are plenty of them hanging around, getting work in bars and stuff. So never let your Nordic compatriot take you back to where they come from. Their spawn point is dangerous, and you are not high level enough to go there. So don't do it. Is my recommendation.
Unless you got some Italian charm.
Wow,
for real.
I had to inject that in there.
You need to then get into the expat community. That's the only way that you're surviving.
Wow,
Get into the expat community. It's so good, so good.
I'm the American. I'm going to play neutral for once. I'm not going to get involved.
Really? Like, the American says that? Didn't you just another country the other day? And you're like, and now everyone's forgotten about it. That's what I love about America is like you literally obliterated the shit out of another country on someone else's behest. Now everyone's like, yeah, no, that was last week.
Oh, goldfish, bro. We have goldfish memories here.
I swear to God, we do live in a game. We do live in a simulation. We are part of the daily grind. And we have reached, talking of grind, halfway through the space, reshare the room, repost the room. Just imagine how rich you would be if all of the game money that you'd ever earned was real money. Just imagine. And in games you liked, as opposed to terrible bullshit that you had to play hoping for that same dream in the last 3 years of this space. Just imagine if you could sell that weird, broken-looking ass object, and like imagine you could. Oh, it's disappeared. Fuck. At least your stuff in Web3 doesn't despawn. Sometimes you wish it would, as your NFTs are so pathetically valueless. But it would be really nice to, search the scrap of dead Web3 games and then hawk them at some centralized marketplace or something like that.
Crafted into
To
something
weird aliens.
crafted into
Yeah.
something people care for.
Yeah, exactly.
A fun fact is I spend probably way more money on a game like Star Citizen for buying the ships, which I retain to this day. But I feel they are a better investment than whatever I spent on Web3 in gaming.
Man,
because the thing
I
is
made
that
a
these have
killing.
value, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say I made a killing on Star Citizen because so before they
How is that
changed
possible?
Someone
before
has
they
to. That's how the Ponzi works.
before they changed the system in terms of what you could how many times you could exchange hands on it and stuff like that. But like I at the time I think I was buying 10 ships at a time and selling 9 and keeping 1. And so
But you're basically blur farming on that game. You're basically that's what you're doing. You're just blur farming.
Yeah. I was,
that game. That's
but
crazy.
I'm still a big fan. I'm hopeful it will come out soon.
I mean, Bart's
we'll
playable,
see.
right?
No. I mean, it's definitely playable. I definitely need a computer that can play it because I think my computer's kind of like packed in last week. I don't know if you know, but my processor started burning, and luckily I was able to save the motherboard. But that was like 350 quid processor down the drain.
That's rough, man.
Intel, I imagine, right?
Sorry?
It's an Intel, I imagine, right?
It was, yeah. It was. But,
they were having a little bit of trouble with the 13 and 14 series, so I would not be surprised.
Yeah. But yeah.
Until you put a graphics card in the oven
so.
to reflow the solder, you've never really.
The 40 series and 50 series, like 90s, with the burning problem, with their like proprietary cable that they released at the 16 pin that's been cooking 3D cards all over the place. Now that's a sound investment. You spend $3,000 for a graphics card that's like, oh, you never know. That's a ticking time bomb. It might just blow up in your PC.
Dude, like seriously. We do a lot for games, don't we? We do a lot for games. We literally spend shit tons of money preparing our little computers for games. We buy the game itself. We buy all of the junk around it. People buy like the Master Chief helmets with all of the stuff in them. And then they go online and they're like, this game fucking sucks. And that's how much we love it. We literally buy the best PC. We flow all of the waterworks. We put the little colorful fans in there. We download the game where we've already pre-ordered it. We pre-order all of the nice packs. And then we want to be the first to jump in chat and tell everyone how much they all fucking suck. Because at the end of the day, we're just assholes looking for someone to love us and tell us, you can be rewarded in life for doing arbitrary tasks, because that's what life generally feels like. You turn up to somewhere, you do a bunch of arbitrary tasks, and then you go home and you're given a small amount of resources, of which seemingly everyone else has a part of that. I mean, this is the only thing I think people play games because you don't get fucking taxed in games. I think that's the only reason. Because there's zero tax in games, you get gold. There's no one that goes around in WoW and says, pay up, bitches. I mean, guilds sometimes do. Like they offer this sort of stuff. But there is no like government of WoW that comes knocking on your door and like, okay, it's now time to pay your taxes. What did you earn last season? Well, you got 35 gold. Did you put it in the spreadsheet? Oh, well, no, I'm going to have to take those boots off you and I'm going to repossess this stick here. And you're not actually qualified as a mage. So you're going to have to return this totem to where you found it. Thank you. So,
Funny you say that because I
mm,
remember there were some MMOs that tried to implement a way of like paying for the subscription by
mm,
giving away resources or like you have to
yeah,
accumulate this like special resources and it took a really long time to make. I think
yeah,
one of these was Wildstar, if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken.
I
And
mean, the problem with that is you should just either give it away free because you don't have enough players, oh, and just get them doing what it is, or you just should just go for a subscription model. It's very
What's
difficult to do
it's a
that one.
so
bad both.
Marvel? I was
Mm,
going to say Marvel Rivals system is kind of interesting because if you're actually a good player, you can actually get enough tokens to actually pay for your battle pass. So
I like that.
not in
I
the
like that.
first season that you play, but in the second season, you can then pay for your battle pass. What's cool is that you sort of get enough tokens then to then sort of then so if you've missed out on like a battle pass, you can do a previous year's one, previous season's one as well, but which
I
is
mean,
really
that
cool.
actually is really
So
good. Like bringing
yeah,
stuff
no, I
back from
like
the
that
past.
system. Yeah,
I love it. I love
but
it.
you've got to
Like,
be a good player as well. Anyway, I've got to shoot as well because
no
I've got
worries.
dinner on the table.
Enjoy your
But
pork curry.
yeah, just thought I'd come up and
What's
give
that, man?
my mid view on on Eve Frontier.
Always welcome,
No, it's
Sirius.
good. It's good. I
It's a
mean,
pleasure.
like, I do. It was nice to have you, Bo. But it's really interesting. Like this whole sort of thing of like, you what you give away and what you don't give away in games. And I think when we have this sort of idea that taxes are literally the one thing that Americans hate, how did we try and run the NFT communities? Taxes. If you look at the entirety of the space, I keep coming back to this: is taxes and fucking communism. It's the entire space. It's like we're going to tell you how much this sword is going to cost. We're going to only make 3,000 of them, and you're going to have to buy them to play. It's like, man, seriously. Look at what people do. They get into games, they hack, they cheat, they do all of this stuff because we should know this because Web3 founders and other people do this to us all the time. So we need to find some really good fun games where they don't tax us, they don't just have staking in them, that they're actually finished. And you can build weird little generators and stuff like that, and it doesn't cost you like 400 fucking bucks. I think this was one of the other things I was very surprised when I first came to the Web3 space. Is like it's like you took a really bad game and you times by about 170 what everything in the game should cost in real money. And you're like, okay, so you got to buy this $30 piece of shit looking art to get into this piece of shit looking game. And everything in there costs minimum $20 and but maximum $200 million billion. And you're like, okay, guys. I mean, seriously. And that's why Web3 is hated by Web2 gamers. It's actually not. It's Ubisoft. Like that's the one and only reason why it's hated. We have Luke straight around. Are you just a listening Luke, or are you like a participating Luke today? See, I'll try and invite you.
But yeah, you said something very interesting. I mean, Ubisoft can't even cut it in Web 2 anymore.
Bro.
That is the biggest, one of the biggest company that like tried to approach both ecosystem, trying to extract from both ecosystem,
Mhm.
and is just failing all over the place. And wasn't it
For
purchased by
real.
Tencent recently as well?
What, Ubisoft?
Yeah,
Oh
I think
God.
they just got saved in the corner because their last Assassin's Creed, which was one of the hugest investment that they made, was
hmm
not well received and didn't even meet the targets that they set for the
Okay,
game.
so this is the interesting thing, right? They have got a 1.25 billion investment from Tencent, but and this is where it gets interesting, only for the popular franchises.
Oh yeah,
But they had to split off all the good shit and get invested. It's just like when Scopely, people say Scopely bought Niantic. Actually, they just bought Pokemon Go and cut the rest of Niantic off, which is a very cunning measure if you don't want to give your shareholders and your early employees any actual money. You sell the game out of the studio, and now the studio becomes worthless, and the game has been sold, and you're still working on the same game in the same fucking office. Miracle, and they don't get sued for that. In fact, they are getting sued for that. But
Lifting the curtain there, Matt. Lifting the curtain.
I like to lift the curtain. It's the only thing you can lift without getting cancelled these days.
Well,
Um,
that's a very apt term, lifting the curtain, considering what all these Ubisoft execs are currently being investigated for. You
oh,
know,
and what
yeah,
are they being investigated for?
well, doing their best DWF impression. It's like sexual harassment in the workplace.
Ooh, that's nasty. But then again, they are French, so that comes with the territory, as far as I've heard. According to working in French offices, it is quite common to be propositioned at least once or twice a day by people who think you're actually just, yeah, well, you're female, so you are, and you must take my French. Oh, come on, man! I'm just trying to get right up everywhere. It's get up there, cause some havoc, man. Let's make this space fun
No,
again.
no, everybody. No, we had our go round all the nations of the world space the other week where we
Ah, yeah,
insulted
that's true.
everybody. That was
But I
fun. I
missed out
really
on the
enjoyed that one.
French, man. That's why I came back to them. Because I love them so much. But yeah, I mean, we've got good games coming. We can say that Eve is a perfectly suited game for Web3. If Eve Frontiers can't make it as a Web3 game, I don't know what will, because it is relatively simple to play Eve, but it takes very relatively intelligent people to do it well. But the actual execution of it is something that's not hard. And I do see this as a trend going forwards. I think it's when you see kids play Minecraft on another space saying much the same. You see kids playing Minecraft, they get sad that they can't do all the things that the streamers can do. So they get bored of the game. But yeah.
You know what I think I want to see thriving in Web3, and I think it's gonna be the catalyst for the gaming
Mm,
ecosystem when indie game studios, small studios with low budget, start pivoting to Web3 and building games on top of it
mm.
with the support of a partner that can actually facilitate, profitable outcomes instead of what's happening now, with the last bull cycle, mass extraction. We want to see good
Yep.
studios do games that feel right, that make people enjoy themselves playing without all that money or extraction behind it. And
Yeah.
utilizing crypto in a way that was always meant to be, to facilitate, to help asset transfer, to make it so people are using the technology in a positive way, not just for
Yeah.
like, paying more money to the developer.
Yeah, no, for one thing, I think when you look at essentially like the kind of the thing that Ronin's been doing as well with their Jin's fortune spin. It was like 318K in player spend, and then they circulated 222K back on chain in transparent closed loop gaming. I mean, sweepstakes are definitely something we do well. Skill based rewards are definitely something we do well in this. We do all of that very, very well, and we also can do things where we can make the money and the time that you go into the game twice really nicely, because in mobile we have what we call hard currency, which you buy from the shop, but we also give it away, right? And Web3, we do the exact same thing. We have the currency that for some fucking reason you can't buy from the shop because we're all retarded. And we decide that not being able to buy this currency without going through 11 different wallet processes, transactions and bridging, and then having to get another fucking currency that has nothing to do with it as gas currency. Yeah, so you have one currency you can't buy through the shop unless you sacrifice your firstborn on a Thursday, and you have the goat there already to paint your face and give all your money to everyone. And
I
then we have
I
another currency
want
called
to
coins.
I want to suggest that if people have to sacrifice things on a Thursday, they do it on our space, and we'll stream
Mhm.
it live.
Yeah, let's do that. Yes,
Well,
let's do it
I'm
live.
gonna jump in for a second. I'm gonna give a little hard shill. So we've talked about before. So D Labs is actually bringing a game onto Kaya onto Telegram that is based off of Ragnarok, right? It's a
Hmm.
very familiar IP for a lot.
Yep.
It's in app. It's a RPG idol. Idol RPG, excuse me. So, to all your points, there's all these opportunities. But what I will say that's interesting about having something in app is that the currency and the things that go on are a little bit less friction. They allow people to just kind of maneuver, manage. It is
Yep.
abstracted. So I'm kind of curious to your point of view. Like at some point in time, I'll have to drop the link in when we have the game open. We're just going through pre-registration now, but I love the fact that it's traditional Web2 game. That's an idle RPG, but what they do is they, because of the staking, not staking, excuse me, crafting, because of the mining, because of all these things, they then can add that ecosystem. To your point, can then be leveraged where they can actually utilize it as real economy. And I think what's interesting about it is it's a low-hanging fruit, right? Because it doesn't require a ton of resources in terms of dev to create this like fantastical, like, video. It's pixelated, right? I mean, it's more like traditional 8-bit, 16-bit art, and it's just one of those things I think. I think it's a great test. I think it's a great test to see if this market can handle something with blockchain rails that you do the exact same things you would do otherwise, but you can then add these layers of a battle pass, of in-game economy, because of the fact that it's an RPG, right?
Yeah,
and then kind of push the space forward. And the fun part is because it's based in Korea, you're going to have some hardcore testers that will give you real-time feedback in terms of the feedback loop, in terms of the Q&A. And I will love to see how that works, only because, as I've stated before behind the scenes in our group chats, it's like the best part about Asian gamers is they're like, your salty mother-in-law. And they love it, and they love you unconditionally, except they will tell you along the way that you are a piece of shit. They need more money, and they're going to kill you, but they play the game nonetheless.
And that is true. That's true. And I think RPGs are definitely the best spot for it. And while I'm watching this, I'm also struggling to comprehend why in the fuck do you have these floating eyeballs? and why do they fucking close the eyes, man? These are supposedly surveillance cameras. Okay, that one's shining through a fucking rock. But why do these eyes close, right? Like, I get that you have cameras that look around, but the fact is, like, come on, man. Like this should come out in Web3. Like this level, just this bit should be the whole fucking game, and you should have staking to keep the eyeball fucking things open longer, and then people will be like, give me something to spend money on that does absolutely fucking nothing. I love this shit. But you're right, man. Like we do need all of the RPGs with all of the rails, and we need to test them. We need to test them, and we need to have them actually playing with genuine people. And eventually, in the fullness of time, we should allow those people to have another dimension as well, not just two. Like we've
100%.
tried it, like we failed miserably with everything. So we were like, let's go back to basics. We'll give them 2 dimensions. And then we'll do all the Web3 stuff, but we're not going to add a 3rd dimension because that's where everything fucks up. Like we start with just paper, like we draw out on paper. It's like when you fuck up something badly, and then you have to draw it out on a whiteboard to figure out where you fucked up. This is exactly what all of these 2D pixel art games are doing. They're like, we're just drawing it on paper to see where we fucked up. And then when we fix all of this shit, we're going to give you actual games with real stuff and running around and 3D and all the rest of it, because that just confused us before. And one of these days, we will find tokenomics experts and find out who paid them all of that money and for what fucking reason. Does anyone know a tokenomics expert? And they're all in hiding now, aren't they?
No, not all. We still got Muhammad, right, Griff?
Well, thank God there are some good ones there.
And what successful games did they make?
Well, the problem is that you have someone like Mo, right, who's the head of tokenomics at Animoca. The problem is like, well, if the founders actually listened, right? So he actually helped and pushed Pixels, and Pixels is one of the few games that has a strong economics. No.
It's fucking terrible. That game loses money every fucking month, bro. Like, look at Animoca's portfolio. Look at Animoca's portfolio.
I don't want to
say, like, it's like head of tokenomics is like being head of fucking compliance on the Titanic, man. Like, I'm head of safety and compliance and engineering on the Titanic. Or the head of iceberg avoiding. I feel sorry for the guy. Like, he's a really good guy. I know him. He's a bro. But tokenomics,
it's a very difficult place to be, for sure. No, I think you're 100%. That's the best part. You're honest.
Mean anything. That's the sad part about it. It's the science that means nothing. Like, as soon as you release the shit, everyone's like, None of the plans work because the market maker's like, oh, game, fuck you, sell. Exchanges like, oh, game, fuck you, double sell. Oh, and we should these shadow tokens. You didn't know about. We can sell those bitches too. Like, so no matter where your tokenomics is, there's just a bunch of like vapors out there that are going to really fucking because you're a game. They're like, oh, now we don't even need the lube. So yeah,
Only
I
fair. Only fair. You know,
exactly.
Matt, you've literally not just lifted the curtain, you fucking ripped the curtains apart. Where this is as
I mean,
transparent as you
dude,
can get.
seriously, like, if I see anyone try to tell me that tokenomics experts can do game design, like game economy design, I will fucking slap them. I mean, it's been 3 years of like constant, or 4 years of constant failure since 2021, that these tokenomics experts have essentially, if you look at what their role is, their job is it's just one part of the entire whole, is launch management. It's just launch management.
That's true.
Like they are not there to maintain the entire economy. They're not there to have the syncs and all of these things. They're not there to respond to player data. They're not there to do any of these things. They're literally there to make sure that there is enough liquidity, that there is enough for everyone to get the little slice of blood, their pound of flesh out of that core game, to make it over that lump. It's basically like having an organ seller. That's what they are. They're fucking organ sellers. That you go to one of them and they're like, "Look, you can buy without one of the kidneys, and if I take your spleen as well, but only half of it, and your liver will grow back. We'll take all of this of your organs and some of your blood, and we'll put that up for sale. And if you don't die, you're gonna have so much money from all of this shit." And that's what tokenomics experts are. And Shao, don't forget your child. You're meant to be picking them up,
Oh, yes, sir.
like right now.
Grim will have to co-host that spot, and I will.
I mean,
take
bring
note of
baby
that.
Shao along next time. It's gonna be
Right?
it's gonna be sweet. But yeah, I mean, brother,
Baby shout,
brother,
baby shout.
baby Shao. Oh man, we gotta play that to him. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But yeah, repost the room, retweet the room, tell everyone else that they suck at Web3 gaming, and bring them all in here. And yeah, share, comment, like, abuse your friends. It's time that we actually have the most hated rally, the rally of Web3 gaming. And to do that, we need to kill and burn and excoriate all the hell and horror that's gone in our path.
We
Yeah.
need a dose of wildfires. Good old summertime heat wave
Yeah.
wildfires. Clear them out.
Exactly. Just
Regrowth.
like in Portugal, where there used to be this thing that there was all of a sudden fires, and we call that insurance claim season, where they would basically set off, like the farmers would just burn down half the fields. It's like, fuck. Apparently, the chosen method was to douse a rabbit in petrol, set it alight, and off it goes, which I think is fucking crazy. But then again, this is from the nation that routinely abandons cats every time they go on holiday. Weird, weird. Lovely aside from that. Anyway, Cynthia, what you thinking?
Me, I'm just silent. You are fudding my bags, bro. Why are you fudding my bags?
I fudge my own bags, man. I'm like the king of the fudge.
No, you guys are talking about tokenomics. We are talking about tokenomics for gaming. People don't even look at the numbers of, for example, when it comes to, when in Web2, when the game laws and game mechanics are written, people take into consideration grinders, spenders, collectors, competitiveness, when it comes to farmers, ownerships, and all these things. And then they put everything into a modeling, and before even think about a spreadsheet, modeling diagrams and all these things, and then run the scenarios, how it will look like, how many, depending on how many users you're going to have. And here in Web3, we are talking about fish off and a spreadsheet, which you and me sit down and can do it in 5 minutes in spreadsheet, put the formulas in, boom, boom, boom. Okay, what's your launch strategy? Oh, we are going to launch in get.io, and okay, the wallet campaign and bit wallet campaign and all these things. We are ready to go. Let's go.
Oh man, it's true though. It's true. Like it doesn't take you too long to rattle off that one fucking spreadsheet that the tokenomics expert's going to do. They do one spreadsheet for you. Like this is your entire life. Your entire company will be down to one spreadsheet. Whereas if you've worked on games, you have multifarious spreadsheets and they multiply and they get worse and they get harder over time. And it's essentially like doing a dissertation where everyone smells slightly of sweat, and you've got to be around them for a very long time in meeting rooms. That's games. If you cannot smell your game studio, you're probably not making a good enough game.
And like everything else, AI is going to do the dissertations anyway eventually. So
Fuck yeah! I mean, I'm actually all for that, right? I'm all for AI to actually make gaming great again, because we sure as hell can't. We fucked up making games so badly. I think the only thing that's going to actually save Web3 gaming is the ability that even a retard can make a good game. Like that's what we're going to have to get to. The level, the absolute, complete, like proper fatigue wearing. You know, the kind of guys who, and you're Italian, so you probably see this more often. The guys who don't wear socks with their loafers, they've got the Gucci loafers, no socks, white trousers, bit of ankle showing. Those guys, those are the guys who are building your games. They shouldn't be building games.
Well, what I want to see is people that have creativity and they can come up with innovative ways of like playing games. Because even though
100%.
they don't have the skill to build one, they might have a brilliant idea that will translate very well into the gaming industry. And
That is true.
I think what's stagnating right now is nobody's innovating anymore. Everybody is like refreshing some sort of mechanic. They're using what worked, but and putting a skin on top of it. And we need something new, something that people haven't thought of it before. The arena meta is gone. The Dota and capture, like Defense of the Ancient meta is gone. Now it's sort of like survival co-op meta, where everybody wants to play together and they tired of all the toxicity of PvP. So you have to soft put PvP inside, PvE games, because there is that portion of players that want to have that. Or you have an ecosystem that is like so wild and player governed that, like we were saying about EVE Online, Star Citizen, there is no rules. There is no place that you're safe. It's just like real life. Wherever you go, it can happen, and it can't, and it might not happen, and that puts a lot more, possibilities. I think
I'm
that
going to clip that. I'm going to clip that, Grim. It can happen. It might not happen. And just use that to threaten my enemies. Wherever you go, it could happen. It might not happen. And then, we have to ask them for their Bitcoin.
I'll sound like the Godfather.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm getting at, man. Like a quick trip to Sicily and no exit. One-way trip to Sicily. But there we go.
Does this mean we've gone from burning rabbits to horses' heads?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. That's how we're going. And that's how we roll here on No Cap Gaming, where we give you all of the gaming and none of the cat. We tell the truth as to why you're being lied to by your founder, because they want shoes that don't touch their ankles. And that's it. That's it for No Cap Gaming. Come back for next week when we have more horrible things to do to you. And stay safe in the trenches.
Have a good one, everyone.
Have a good one. Have a good one.